little summary, bring us in alignment with process yesterday. Was probably one of the more advanced ones since Atlantis went down. Combining the name of God in its highest formula, and also inserting that as the center of the masculine feminine heart poles, was a extremely powerful way of creating this state of grace at a divine level that is able then to reach down into the physical, the Davic realms, and human physical and feminine, and in the masculine and heaven angelic realms, with an organization that fits precisely what we're doing. So this formed what we call the Katim sphere, and that Katim sphere format with the double heart business is the core of every arc there is. So it's of the essential. So the homogeneous great arc that we're now going to form today, this afternoon, run the process, will of course contain that, and I can expect, well, probably David will be supervising and overseeing it. They've already begun this installation into the Gaia, anticipating the Sha'Alura, and in non-linear time it's already there, and it's a matter of keeping it dynamically building. So some of you have heard the story, some not. We did our pre-workshop and set it up, and said, why don't we put up the formula. Well, we'll get there later, the formation. Simply a review right now. I want to review a few things from yesterday's event. Next, whatever's the top of this.
Just hang on. Well, just we planned this, just...
All very carefully planned and orchestrated.
Okay, then with the first one I can do that.
Yeah.
It's got to be this one. Is that what you want?
That's good enough.
Okay.
All right, we had a hollow tree, and then we had a great big tree out in the ocean. Okay, this is a dione couplet format used just by everybody. This particular design is from the Hathor Temple at Dendera, and the usual male and female poles. When two women are running it, this is Nephthys. She's wearing a pillar on her head with a grail on top of that, representing the one that reads the higher Akashic, streams it in for the feminine side, which is held by Isis.
Oops, sorry.
That's good. Yeah. Who's wearing a crown, throne. So she has the dominion of the kingdom, the realm of the creation realm of form and function and so forth. She's building it according to the codes, fire codes that are being projected from the male pole over here. Okay, run the thing up a little bit, if you will. Down just a little bit upward. Well, run it down again. The other.
This is up,
Oh,
this
yeah.
is down. You want it up.
There, for a second, yeah, okay.
It's trying to make me crazy.
The hollow tree is seen here. As this, here's the branches, here are the roots. So this is the hollowness here, or sacred gap. And typically in the sacred gap, you build an ark to get things done and hold the space and do you know, the essential functions in creating whatever form you're going to do. The hieroglyphs here ask both what they meant. He who holds the throne governs the star path home. Okay, let's go down a bit. This is just to demonstrate that this is a highly crafted, complex system. It uses the Rochelle system. Each human here has the Eye of Ra pillar to function with, and there's one in the center too, as the primary. This Eye of Ra can spin down and touch the other person. I have it drawn here, if you can see that. Each person can link up with their main pillar that L shifts down to link with the person opposite, among other things. Okay, now I don't have the graphic, but well, maybe I do. Let's try the next one. Yeah. Now what we do with this to create the...
Would you like me to blow that up a little?
Yeah, that'd be good. Well, while we're here, this is the scarab I mentioned the other day. The crop formation, well, buried in there somewhere. Well, that's not, we're getting off track. Let's go here. More yet. That's good. Well, blow it up a bit more so I can read this. I think that'll do it. Okay, what we've done here to create the cube arc is to join them to mirror it, and the roots actually become the center of the arc and provide us with three main waveforms. Remember that that chaos where you ride the mighty wave. So there's a basic wave, and then there are subharmonics of the waves, and there are basically three main systems. And this describes them. One is heart coherency through solar and atonic alignment. That's not atomic, that's atonic. And that has to do with charges, electronic, super-electronic charges that will unify the orotronic universe with the metatron. And the name for that is the Hurbatatan. Another waveform, or Ithocreus, is to uphold the firmament of sacred order. Other system, Mana Flura, receiving divine substance from the realm that is the inhabited dimension. That sets up the basic waveform for the center of our arc. Now we have another system working in the same area, and that's the honeycomb dynamic that we've already talked somewhat about. And the horizon of Thoth is the center here. Okay, so the hollow tree then becomes the tree with the roots in heaven and the normal tree, both together then are creating this fairly sophisticated form. You have two forms in it. Move the eating, move it up a bit. If we went into this more deeply, the higher self model and then the one that is generating would be within this wave format. We've actually done this with people and fairly comfortable. Okay, let's go to the next one. So the main tree then in the water becomes that, with a few embellishments. All right, now the other thing in the event yesterday, by the way, remember that because one person picks up the black cube and so forth, Robert, that applies to the whole group. He's picking it up for the whole group, as well as whatever the rest of you in your inputs. And commenting on that, we pretty much maxed out for our capacity this love, state of grace in this unified heart, Katim sphere. So those of you that did that for the group permitted the other members to specialize in their contributions. Okay, so now addressing Robert's black cube. Robert, you want to describe what you saw? Yeah, you'll have to stand up.
I don't have to stand up.
Yeah, you
Go for it, buddy. Speak loudly.
Well,
don't jiggle the computer.
okay. Come out there. Or, no.
Well, where they can hear you.
Okay, the black cube. There was like, it was black, but there was like a rose glow in the middle of it. You know, it was like pulsing with this rose glow. And there was, I could only see 3 faces, but the top had a figure on it with a circle and a line coming down the bottom. And then the other side had well, I saw it as a table, but it actually, when I look at it, it's like 3 lines coming down, and a line on the top, and a line on the bottom. And then the other one on the other side, on the right side, was a circle with a cross in the middle.
And then what happened with the cube?
Oh, well, what happened, it turned up onto its point and became crystal. And you could really see the center, the rosy glow in the middle, very clearly at that point, because it was just radiating from the middle of the cube, and it began to spin really fast on its point. It was almost like it was an engine or something, activating something.
Okay. When you form a cube with 8 poles, that also forms a star tetrahedron. So a cube has another function as a star tetra, or vice versa. You usually build the 4 square first. So we picked up the cube first. It would be a cube sphere, of course. And then when it went into the next part of its creation mode using the 6 format, or tetrahedron, star tetrahedron, it's still the same cube, but up on its point, apex. All right, now, Edie, you get. Well, this is a picture of a star tetra, and notice that the ends are effectively open. All right, let's go to this. All right, now yesterday the group shifted into a max or into a creation mode, a basic universal creation mode, using this combination of the cube and star tetra. But right now, the star tetra has taken the active part of this, and this is found in Maya's definitions describing the tetranome and the tetratrion, same thing. So sometime you technicians might look at that. This, when it spins, it creates this seagull or spinning energy, and that is then, it starts generating blue needles from the ends and of the apices. And these blue needles you can connect up with what's generally known as the string theory. Only we can work with blue needles, they come out of the blue hole that's a result of the black hole, white hole. Now you don't want to or you can't mess around with a black hole and a white hole, but you can work with the blue hole mentally if you can get up to that level, which we did. Okay, let's...
Once again, Bill has created a email for every day that has all these graphics on it. So when it's over, we'll put it together in, I guess, one long email or PDF or something and send it to everybody so you can get all the information. Right now, you're full. You don't need to be doing this every night, but we will get it to you.
So that's what the thing looks like when you can look it up yourself on their site, which you'll end up doing through our link. Anyway. Oh, before we leave that's okay, good.
I can go back?
No, that's good. It's all for our day here. Okay, the system here is the stem and blossom. And it's pretty much almost a summary for the whole alphabet code, the 990, 900, 9000 series. I'm not going to go into a lecture, we don't have the time, but this is the new Earth star. The Earth is the cross sign, and it's also the human sign. So when the human unifies with the Earth itself, the two of them as a world soul, the collective consciousness of the human, the David world, and the angelic, then that cross, the cross of the Earth, the cross of the human, and other sentient beings merge, and then that merges in a sun wheel to create that sign, and then the plant part of the tree, true vine, and so forth becomes part of that. It's oversimplified, but that's what's showing up in that. This is the primary pillar formed by the sixth dynamic. Heth is a teleplane with the two pillars in the center. So our cube for the day spelled, they gave us the word tet, or tuk, which means to stretch a bow, the archer, and also innermost thoughts would be the coding, the superficial code. A couple examples of this stem and blossom. Just fast ones. Go ahead. Next one. Okay. Attention directed here to this brilliant piece of work. This is Rex Mundi, the Earth, and it represents the fall factor. He has a vintner's basket. You can run down a little bit, show this design here.
If you'd
Okay.
like me to blow them up a little each time you talk, I can do that so people can see it a little better.
All right, yeah, a good idea.
There you go.
Okay, here's the basket. And it's the basic grail that's extended, and from this you also get the bee's hive. So it's the basic Rochelle formats, and this is the parabolic curve. Transfers the codes from the center, the spiritual center of your arc or system, up into the resh pole. And from the resh pole, then everything else is created. Okay, so let's move up a bit. Bit more. Okay, here a minute. All right, the angels up above are making a sign. Here she's pointing straight down, and her left knee is bent, so she's genuflecting, honoring temporal authority, not the divine authority, which would be the right. Okay, and she's pointing down, connecting a link down below, actually through that red dot. Let's look at the red dot.
It's on the other side, do you want that? Bigger.
Yeah,
It's not
well,
on
that's
the-
on, yeah. Well, never mind, we'll go up there in a second.
It's on the left side.
Okay, so the other angel is touching the right shoulder. Here we have the left shoulder, and then the forehead. So, basic Christian symbol, or the sign, they figure is the plus cross. Well, Beuhler didn't mean that. He meant the Sadi blossom, stem and blossom. Going up. So this is the stem part, the angels, and then the blossom part is the cross and the circle with the rose, or the rose cross. So that's one example of this coded into Rennes le Chateau Magdalene chapel. This is the font for the water, where the waters change to blood. Okay, let's look at the red dot before we leave this. The red dot is there. Go up.
Oh,
Yeah, right there. There's letters B and S on it. People think that's Boudet and Saunier, the two priests down at Rennes le Chateau and Rennes, but it isn't. It's, if you read it incorrectly from left to right as Bosch, you get filth. If you read it correctly from right to left as Shab, it means to draw water. So you're drawing water through the stem up into the blossom, which creates the seed. So that becomes the center of that Rochelle format.
No? Is this related to new vine in any way?
Yeah, that would be the true vine would be the exact correlation there. And we have a new true vine that's generated. Okay, let me see anything else here. This is where we get the Parsa Signa Tulip and Krah is written just under this sign here. So the main sign isn't the cross, it's like that. Okay, next one, one more example, quickly moving on. That was quick. Okay, Roslyn Chapel. This is the Mary Pillar. Here's the altar. Behind this, to the east of it, is the typical lady chapel. And the rose line from Thurso down to San Sebastian goes through that chapel and is coded by Roslyn or Roseline. Lynn in Gaelic Scot also means the line, also the brood hen of 12, with a brood of 12, water, or waterfall, bay, any kinds of water. The lion has a number of meanings to it. Anyway, the pillar itself, the primary pillar, includes the window, which is right above this statue of Mary. The disciples used to be there before some unruly king stabled his horses in here. Okay, so the example, the stem and the blossom is here. Let's look at the bottom of it again. Yeah, okay. All right, now that blossom actually has a parhelion geometry built into it, so the focus is in Mary's, when Mary here is lifted up into that plane, the apostolic plane here, and that's the main, where the main Solomon temple is located in Roslyn. Then this parhelion focuses in her crown. There's other things to it. There's a glory effect here on the plane itself. But anyway, that's just to demonstrate that there's method to the madness when we built this place. Okay, so let's go on to the next one. Okay, one comment in passing. Forming liquid light bodies had to be repeated 3 times as in the executive installation. So this light body, or the pure gem body, is the high version of the new sun. So we basically established a pattern for generating a new pattern for the generation, ongoing generation of this new body, or the pure gem body.